Hello friends! So today I thought we would make some caramel apples. They're very simple. We're going to start with 5 apples. This one has a sticker. I'm going to take the sticker off. They actually all had stickers on them, but I took the stickers off. And you pull the stem out, so you just twist it until it pops out. And then we're going to go and wash each apple. I washed those, thought I'd get a head start. I'm going to wash this one. And then our apples will be ready. You should dry your apple so the caramel will stick to it. Okay. So we're going to get these ready in a minute, but in the meantime, we are going to take a small saucepan. And these, I've never worked with these before. I usually buy the actual caramels that you have to unwrap. These are called caramel bits, and you don't have to unwrap them. You use the whole bag. The whole bag makes 5 apples. So you cut the top off, pour it in the pan. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of water. And we're going to put it on medium-low heat. And I'm going to cover it. Alright, then in the meantime, I'm going to take a plate and some wax paper. And we're going to cut the wax paper big enough to cover the plate. Alright, a little overlap is good, you know. Alright, then we're going to take cooking spray. I have canola, it really doesn't matter at all what kind. And you spray the top of the wax paper. And the reason you're doing this is because when your apples have caramel on them, you don't want them to stick to the paper. So we're going to set that to the side. And then we are going to take our apples. And I have these skewers, which I just went to our local grocery store and I asked for skewers. I asked for some not big ones, but these were the smallest they had. So these are a little big, but they'll do the trick. So we're going to just slide them into each apple. And while we're doing this, I'm going to go back every once in a while and check on our caramels because we don't want them to burn. All right, I'll be right back. So you just come over and you just keep stirring your caramels. You don't want to leave them sit so long that they burn because it won't work. I'm going to cover it up again and finish putting our sticks in our apples. So just right down the middle. These aren't the sturdiest of sticks, but I think they'll do the trick. I would suggest popsicle sticks maybe instead. These do feel a little more flimsy than I planned on. Okay. Wow, that one's not. All right. So one of my sons is allergic to peanuts. You can put peanuts around the outside after you put your caramel on. But instead I bought a little sprinkle mix. And I thought it would be cute once the caramel's on to just put green sprinkles on it. You can do any color you want. They had some that had ghosts and pumpkins in it, but to me those are hard candies, or like harder for your teeth. And when you bite into an apple, I just thought you don't really need a hard candy there too. I also suggest that you do, what are those called? Granny Smith apples, because they're a little more tart, and so with the caramel on it, it just makes a really good flavor. Whereas if you can also do any other kind, Macintosh, there's all kinds. You can do any kind, but if you do a sweeter apple, then of course it's going to be even sweeter. So it's all what you're used to and what you like. I like those because they don't taste tart, they taste just right because the sweet and the tart together just makes it taste good. This is starting to melt. It'll take a couple more minutes. Just gonna stir it up a little more. It is different with the little bits. It makes it so that it melts quicker. So I'll just have to keep my eye on it a little bit. So yeah, you could put peanuts around it, you can put any kind of, anything really. You can put chocolate chips, like mini chocolate chips, mini white chocolate chips. You can use the big ones too. I don't know how good they would stick, but the mini ones would stick good. You could use colored sugars. There's all kinds of things. I thought I'd play some music to keep us in the Halloween spirit. Halloween is actually tomorrow. So these are getting there. Just a few more minutes, maybe a minute or two. So yesterday I carved pumpkins. There's this guy, and that guy was the day before. Almost there. All right, I'm going to set this over here so I can set my pot on it. Maybe we'll sit this over to this side so we can do our little creations. Clear the table a little. Very close. We're almost there. So I don't know how many of you are having Halloween parties this year. We used to have them all the time when I was a kid. All right. I think this is ready. So now we're going to let it sit for just a minute. I might bring this in here. When we would do parties, we would play this game where we would take like delicate stuff, like the hummels and stuff like that. We would bring all our guests in, all the kids, and they would come downstairs and they would see all these things down the middle of the floor, and we would tell them that we were going to blindfold them and that they had to step over those, and if they did a good job, they would win a prize. And so after everybody got there, we would take everybody out of the room, blindfold them one at a time, and have them come back into the room. And we would tell them, okay, this is the tall red vase, and this is the little hummel, and they would step real high or step real low. And it was just fun because all the other kids are watching them, but in the meantime, when they were out of the room, we actually took away all those things. So it just looked silly and fun, and everybody had a good time. And everybody ended up getting some kind of treat or a prize after they did it. All right, so this is all melted really good. So we're going to take our apples and we're going to dip them in. I'm going to pour it over the top. You can do half your apple if you want. You can do the whole apple. If you wanted to, you could do half your apple with caramel and half with melted white chocolate or regular chocolate. You can get fancy with them. I like to just use the caramel. Sometimes I will do chocolate chips because I am a chocolate freak. I love chocolate. So you can do whatever you want. Salted peanuts is yummy too. But like I said, one of my kids was allergic to peanuts, and I just have never really done them with peanuts. I've bought them that way before for my husband and I. Okay, so on the bottom, we're going to just scrape some of it off the bottom because it's going to run down there anyway. And I'm going to take these, and they're Elma's sprinkled green they're like little cupcake decorations. And I am going to, I cut a little part off of it. I'm going to hold this and just drop them around down there. You know, I was planning on doing that a different way, but just drop them on. All right. And you want to go about halfway up. And you can now tap them on to make them stick into the caramel. You know, I planned on doing it over the bowl, but I made the mistake of not doing that. But let's see. But you can just pick some up and plop them on. And I'm not going to do a ton because it's just to make it look pretty. In fact, if you want to, you can put a couple right around the very top just to be cute. So here's our first caramel apple. It's got it on the top too. And we're going to set that in the corner of the plate because we have 4 more to do. All right. So let's get going on our second. And you just keep going all through all 5. Like I said, I've done this with normal, you know, regular caramels that you have to unwrap, and it just barely makes it to 5. So I'm not sure how this one's going to land because I've never done it with this one before. And you can kind of smear it around because honestly it's going to run down anyway. So it looks kind of ugly at first, but it will not look ugly when you're done. And then we're going to scrape the bottom off again. It's going to just run down. You might as well scrape it off. Alright, I'm going to use the bowl this time so that if any falls off, which it's going to, we can go back and put it on. Alright, so now I'm going to just kind of tap it on, turn it around, tap it, tap, 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 all the way around. Tap, tap, tap. And then if you want to put a couple in the top, and there's number 2. And then you just keep going all the way through. You can do different color ones where they're not all, like every one of them can be different. One with peanuts, one with chocolate chips, one with white chocolate chips, one with these green sprinkles. You can do the multicolored sprinkles, sugars, just all different colors of sugars, whatever you want. Such a good, yummy treat for the fall. Yesterday we did a pumpkin and made the pumpkin seeds, roasted them. We put cinnamon sugar on them, but you can do lots of stuff with that too. So that's fun. All the fun things of fall. Okay, so we're going to do this all the way around again. We're going to tap them on. A little more here. When it starts to dry, it wants to bounce off, so you got to just tap them on a little bit. Grab some of these and put it in the top. Number 3. All right. Let's do this one. Gonna cut it close, I can tell already. I hope you guys are having a nice Halloween season. I don't think as many parties are going on this year because of the COVID-19. used to love dressing our little kids up in their Halloween costumes. At our house, we really don't get too many trick-or-treaters because we live on a dead-end street and nobody really wants to take the time to come down. But it would be fun to see all those little kitties dressed up and having fun. All right. Yeah, I think I'm over carameling a little. All right. I'm going to use this part. Dump it over here. All the way around again, and then we're going to grab some of them and stick them in the tops. Okay. Then we're going to try to get enough caramel, at least do some of that last one. See if we can get it. Ooh, I don't know about that. Maybe we'll try to do just half. This is such a cute Halloween song. Okie doke. Try to smear it around a little. It's starting to thicken a little more now. So just plop that in the middle. I think that's about what we're gonna get. All right. So you can try to just be fancy and do halfway up when you're starting to run out. I'm going to take some of these, plop them in the top. See, I think I'm going to try to do something like this. I think they're going to start bouncing off because it's starting to dry a little too much. Okay, let's try this one. And plop it on. Then I'm just going to tap a couple times where there's a lot of them. Try to get it on here. Looks pretty good. All right. So let me show you the finished product. And then if you enjoyed yourself today and you want to see more videos, please like and share. And thank you very much and happy Halloween.